No one in my career, this is something my dad told me, which I hold very near and dear to me, but no one ever worked or is working for me. They all work with me. And so I think that's a powerful statement when there's still a pecking order. Don't get me wrong. Someone's still got to be the guy willing to take the chance. And there's sometimes there's more than one, right? But at the end of the day, I think that is a powerful statement when you don't have anybody that works for you, but they work with you.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Big Hitters Podcast. I am joined by two dear friends that I know through an experience called Rise Up Kings that I will always plug no matter what. It is a life-changing experience for Christian business owners. But I went through the Refiner event with my good buddy here, Randy Harden, who has helped me get to know Todd Neiberger, and they own and run a company called TTN Fleet Solutions. And they are hitters. In fact, low-key man crush on both of them. So, guys, thanks so much for joining us here today on the podcast.
Yeah, great to be here, man. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
Yeah, Andrew, appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity to kind of share some of our stories with you.
Well, my first question is always the same. Tell us who you are and how you got here. A little bit of your story.
Todd, I'll let you go, bud. You go first.
How I got here, I will say, and Andrew, through meeting yourself, and then a little bit about my background. I went through Rise Up Kings Pod 57. So I just completed going through the refinery about 4 weeks ago. I will say, without going into it too much, it is probably one of, hands down, the most amazing things I've ever experienced. I have worked for private companies, private equity. I've been a CFO for public companies. I've spent a lot of time in New York. I've been through leadership programs, but I have never been through something like Rise Up Kings. The physical, the mental, the brotherhood, the leadership, I loved every bit of it. So that is what obviously put us here with you, Andrew. Randy and I have known each other for 6+ years since I joined TTN Fleet Solutions. So I started there as the CFO and stepped into the CEO's shoes about 2 years ago. I can talk a little bit about my past experience with various different companies, but again, I've either been a CFO or a CEO of other companies, private equity involvement, capital raising, IPO, public companies, sales, acquisitions, a lot of it. So I'm older than I look. I like to say that, but a lot of experience and a lot of great mentors that have helped me get where I'm at today, including Randy as one of them. So thank you.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Todd. Randy Harden. I don't have near the accolades Todd has, but I have been blessed to have purchased a family business in 1997, March of 97, out in California, and then grew it to be in 5 different states, and really started my career in the business world. Since then, I was blessed to have been able to do some merger and acquisitions of like companies, mainly market share stuff. So I was able to purchase right at 11 companies that were in the same market share I was, or in the same industry I was. So pretty proud of that little thing. You get to learn a lot by what someone else does and how they run their business, and how you can take little nuggets from each one of those and continue to build on them and turn them into something special. TTN Fleet Solutions is my Texas corporation, and it is been a blessing to be a part, to have Todd a part of it, to have my son a part of it, and a couple other people that are our partners in it. I will tell you that we had a little reorganization upper management. We had a partner that was really wanting to get out, didn't have the desires that we did, so we went pretty much. We, being my son and I, went in there and bought him out. So blessed to have done that. Blessed to be able to do that. TTN Fleet Solutions is a basically a emergency road service and an on-road service and repair company, broker company for in-service networks and customers in the trucking world. So pretty amazing company, does a lot of great things. The driver experience is what we really focus on. So the truck driver experience, we focus on that, and then also managing those events for our customers to get those down as low as we possibly can without hurting our network of service providers. So
What and you guys are being so humble because you both love Jesus and you're very humble dudes, but there's multiple different enterprises beyond TTN also that you have your hands into. There's a call center, there's a, fins to bones. Like, what are all of the different facets of Randy and Todd Enterprises?
So you said this was a half hour, right?
Brief and brilliant.
Okay, all right. So I have I think I'm including my foundation. I think I'm at 9 businesses right now that I currently have, and I am super blessed to have people like Todd, and Todd has his group of people below him. But because of that, I am blessed to be able to work about 8 to maybe 9 hours a week tops. And so my California-based company is a service provider for our Texas company, and we do a lot of law enforcement stuff. We do some other commercial work. It's truck repair businesses. We have shops. Excuse me. We have 2 shops. We have 4 locations, and we run up and down the state of California, pretty much from Mexico to right about Merced, the Mexico border, and California back to Merced. And so we cover a big footprint. We have a light duty business that we do a lot of towing out of. We have a transportation division that we move some yellow iron, some big yellow iron in. And then we also in California have a call center that is and it's kind of neat because what I've been able to do with Todd's help and we've been able to do some networking with our own businesses, right? So our call center, Itelafleet in California, it has a little piece of what we do in Texas that allows us to be very efficient and very cost effective because of that call center and the way it's currently ran. And so we incorporated that into our initiation of the call at our in our operations of TTN Fleet Solutions. And so I have a RSH Family Foundation. Todd and I are partners in another company called Fins to Bones, which is an outdoor enthusiast company. I set that company up to be able to donate back through conservation of land and preservation of animals. So we do 25% of the revenue from that. And then 10% of that revenue goes to men's Christian ministry. And so we've really done that's our giving company. We've set that up that way. And it's just off of the ground floor. So we're really anxious to see what the next, 12 to 18 months look like.
Todd was telling me the other day that you guys never have fun together, by the way. It's very serious and stern all the time. You don't do anything fun together.
No, it's all work. He's always gone. He's got these 4-legged, animals that he loves, these horses. He travels all over the country showing them all around.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a beast in the show horse world, for sure. Go ahead, Todd.
I will say this, it's been a blessing to meet the Harden family. Tyler and I, his son, we've worked together closely daily for 6+ years. Randy and I have gotten to know each other well over the last 6 years. It's Randy and I are pretty close to the same. I think we're about a month apart in age. Yeah. I think we're about
old,
a month
Andrew.
apart.
We're old.
Yeah, we. I would say that we're very proud of our age and proud of. When I say that jokingly, we do have fun. Proud of our 4 pillars of life. fitness being one of them. We try to stay in shape as much as possible. I'm not sure I could hang with Randy on the bench press or hiking some of the mountains, but we try to stay active and stay young. But yeah, we've had a lot of fun as we work through some things. It's not always, but I would say from a standpoint, we've had to realign some things within our organization over the years. We had a very large customer that, from a standpoint and where we were at, that within the business, that was not a very profitable customer from our standpoint, and we all go through that at times. That we made a decision that there was going to be some changes within the new contract and some pricing and some things that needed to take place, and that customer chose to go in another direction. And from our standpoint, at the end of the day, one door may close, but God is there to open many others. And we have seen other doors that have opened and allowed for us to grow with higher margins with other customers. So it's been a blessing on our side. So,
hey, Todd, that's really interesting. For a second, I'd like to double click on that, because I think a lot of business owners that listen to this show, we all have a client. I mean, my mentor, when I first became a financial advisor, says every year you have to look through your book of business. You have to fire PETA. So PETA is pain in the ass, right? And it's hard because maybe they are, a good client. Maybe they've been with you for 5 years or 10 years. So like, I think this could be a helpful conversation. Like, how do you handle something like that? How did you guys approach that?
So let me jump in here, Todd, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, right? When we changed our direction and I became chairman of the board, Todd became the CEO. So we decided we were going to really hold our margin, right? So we have a margin that we have set that's what we're holding to. And this company, we don't, in Randy's world, which is very small in the big world, but in Randy's world, I never tell a customer no. I just tell them how much.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't ever want to say that I won't do something for someone, but I will tell you how much it costs, right? Because if I'm going to do it, I don't need to practice. We're very good at what we do. Matter of fact, we're the best at what we do, if you ask me. And so we don't need practice. And so we need to make our margin. Now, we don't need to get rich off each thing, but we need to still make money doing it, or else we won't be around to help you. So having said that, we gave them an option to level up, to become a great partner with us like we were for them. And they chose that the relationship that we'd had for, help me out, 10 years, Todd?
Yeah, we had just finished 2 4-year contracts and on our second year of a third our third.
Yeah, so we had a 10-year relationship. They chose that the dollar was more valuable than the relationship. And so I was okay with that. And I'm just going to give you this number, and Todd, tell me if I'm right or wrong. It was approximately a top line revenue number of about $32 million a year. So when I say I didn't take it lightly. I gave them the option to level up, and we were going to be a great partner for them, like we had been for the first 10 years. And they just needed to come up and be a good partner with us. And when they chose not to, then we chose that, hey, look, we don't need to practice. So we're going to get an opportunity. We're going to give them an opportunity to either go somewhere else or, shut which, by the way, we helped them build their book of business on that particular line of their business. So kind of a unique thing, different by a huge, not to have a huge customer like that, right? A lot of people would be afraid, I believe, or maybe with the fear would set in of that number being gone, right? So, we were able to. They left in December, and we still hold our same margin today. And we now are still gaining EBITDA. We're still, we're like, it was an adjustment. We did a little riff. We did, some things that we didn't really want to do, but now we're back growing. We have a great opportunity, and we're not working for to build someone else's business. We're building our business.
Yeah, I love that. What are some, out of curiosity, I mean, a multi-million-dollar company like yours across 50 different states, what are some current sticking points that you guys are trying to solve? Like what's not keeping you up at night, but like, every business owner has like a wall they're trying to break through. Like, what is that for you guys? Because I don't have a business of that size. So I'm just curious to know what kind of keeps you guys up. Like, what are you trying to solve right now?
I
I think
believe
one of the
it's the.
things,
Go ahead, Todd.
go ahead, Randy. I think one of the things that we look at from a standpoint is, just the ever changing, what I would say our society and what we look at today. It doesn't matter what business line you're in. Technology is a big part of our world.
Mm,
And when we look at it, it's the technology and then the expectations of the customers. We are a, thumbs up or a like or where we're at. And, how do we take what the customer is asking and take it today to making sure that we are servicing the customer at the same level we've always been serviced, but incorporating what I would say more along a self-service model and to continue to build margins where they need to be as gross margins, but then also taking a look at just keeping up on technology and staying ahead of the curve. That is probably our big thing on our side. And we're very proud of the technology we've put in place and what we are able to deliver to this industry. The thing on our side is scalability. It's important when you see a customer like what we made that choice on and that decision to move forward and to see a top line. But it's allowed for us now to scale within our space and in our industry that there was exclusivity that was tied to that one customer. And now we can go across that platform to various customers in that space, okay, that we're not locked in, that might be more advanced in technology or more advanced along the way. And so those are the things that ongoing that we are constantly having to reinvest and your people obviously are extremely important. And from our standpoint in our space today, it's service to the customer. And what that service is really expectations and people wanting it, to make decisions and price points rather quickly.
yeah.
I think that one of our big struggles today is and it always will be, I believe, is to find the balance between the customer who is the leading volume customer, and that is a heavy lift to get them to become our customer because they have a huge network, they have huge platform, they have built their business with internally to be able to take care of that. And then you turn around and you have I think what we're seeing today is our sweet spot now isn't the top 50 trucking companies in the world. Those are great to have, don't get me wrong, and we can really add value to them. Where we add a lot of value to them is when it's on nights, weekends, third shift is what we call it, because that's where they spend a lot of their money, and they have a lot of bad decisions because internally that's hard to get the people to work there, right? During that time. Outside of that, if you look at the trucking companies that are from 2 to 3,000 power units, they aren't quite there enough to get their nationwide network put in place, right?
Mm,
So that's where we really come in and shine for them, because we're able to manage those events, watch
mm,
their money like it's our money, be able to make those educated decisions on what's the most efficient and effective way to take care of whatever that situation is. And that driver is very valuable to that trucking company because they are not a dime a dozen anymore. Good drivers are very hard to keep, and because they're always getting opportunities, right, from other companies.
mm,
So for me, I think those challenges are for us are is that ever moving, um, our desired outcome just keeps moving. It keeps fluctuating. Sometimes, we land. We've been very blessed to have some great, huge insurance companies that are partners with us, and
mm.
those insurance companies, um, they love us. They love what we do. They love what we do for their insured. Um, and it was a year and a half to 2 year lift to get them accomplished. Right, big numbers, big numbers, big problems. You know.
So, okay. So I'm driving, from Denver to Vail, and I'm going down the crazy slopes of the mountains here. And I see a truck broken over on the side of the road, which I see a lot here in Denver. TTN is the company that like can service that if they're in the middle of, Alaska or Colorado or Rhode Island, like you guys have a solution to help that truck that's broken down on the side of the road.
Yeah, I
Yeah, that's
believe
what we
we
focus
have.
on.
Go ahead. I believe today we have just under 2,000 in-network service providers in the United States, and I think we have another 5,000 outside networks. In-network. The thing about in-network is, Andrew, if you're an in-network company, we have a contract with you, have agreed upon prices with you, and you are our primary company in your area. So we steer all the work that we get in your area to you, because we want to reward you for being in network. If you're out of network and the in network service provider is currently tied up and can't get to it in a timely manner, then we have some opportunities to go other directions. And we try to help those guys understand the value of being in network compared to being out of network. But, it's just,
I mean, the main thing that then you ask about our business is that you're coming down Vale Pass and you see a truck that's broken down. What we provide when we say emergency roadside services is mobile mechanical, towing, whatever may be the case. If it's mobile mechanical and we can get one of our service providers out there and get the truck back up and running in quickest time, and obviously save them money and cost and freight where it's at, that's the answer. If it gets to a point where it's a tow, again, we service throughout the United States and Canada with all of our entire network.
It's crazy. All this from being in rodeos, right, Randy, is where you learned all this stuff.
That's right. I'll tell you a story about TTN, and this is very, very interesting. One of our customers, we worked on their stuff in California. So we worked in a town called Delano. We handled all their trailer maintenance, and on the cross border town Ocho Mesa, which is right on the border. And so we were doing work at both those places, and they were really, really happy with us. And so I would fly back to their corporate office and I would ask them, hey, what's your heartburn today? Like, he's the director of maintenance. Like, what's your heartburn today? What can I take care of for you? Give me what's bothering you so I can help you out of it, And in the next 12 months, I was in 5 different states, same company. And then I went back in there to do the same thing to continue to grow. And he said, man, I just need you everywhere. And I said, well, I would love to be everywhere. However, that's not a feasible thing, And I said, but what I could do is I could take all the calls from you. Like, you run all your calls that come in through the maintenance and breakdown. I'll take and facilitate them. And then I will make sure we get the right people in the right places. And he said, I'm going to the board meeting tomorrow. I said, okay, well, I'm going back to California. And he said, no, you didn't hear me. I'm going to the board meeting tomorrow. I'm going to give him this. We're going to build a presentation. So we did that night. He went into the board meeting, came back out. He said, you have 30 days. Can you do it in 30 days? And I said, sure, 30 days. Nationwide. I have no vendors. I have nothing but what I have. Heck yeah, I can do it. Give it to me. So I said, what I need from you is your top 100 vendors. And so he said, okay. And he gave me his top 100 vendors. And when he did that, it was a pretty special thing because that was the kickstart we needed. And in 30 days, I was sitting in the floor of the company, the customer, and my friend was in the floor of his basement, and we opened a call center, and we were officially day one of TTN. And we saved them that first year because of low-hanging fruit, I'll tell you, but I like to take the credit anyway. We saved them just over 13% on a $4.5 million a month breakdown in maintenance budget. So it was pretty awesome.
Unbelievable.
Good. So
Randy, shifting topics. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, shifting topics. Well, a real big hitter in my mind is not just someone who's running different ventures and enterprises. It's someone who is faithful in his walk with Jesus, someone who is pursuing his life and his marriage. And I know something that you're really passionate about is personal accountability. And in many ways, like, I think we were both impacted by the Rise Up Kings culture. But talk a little bit about that, the personal accountability that you're so passionate about.
So in my personal accountability, I will tell you, when I turned 55, I'm 60 now. So when I turned 55, I I was living a very comfortable life, right? I was fairly successful. I got to live up here at the country club, play golf, had cocktails, and just a really cool, easy life. And uh, was 297 pounds, and I had my 55th birthday, and I was like, man, I'm closer to the end than I am the beginning. So if I want to stretch this last bit out, I have to change my way, because self-destructive was what I was just really, nothing. My marriage was good. My kids were good. My family was good. My fitness was terrible. And my faith was terrible, right? Because those are two pillars that I didn't have that in my world. So I changed those. My fitness became passion as much as my family, and my finances. And then fast forward 4 years ago, about 4 years ago now, I come home from the gym early in the morning. Lisa, my wife, and I have been married 40 years in May 11th this year, or last year, excuse me, May 11th this year. Yes, correct. And so we'd sit around, have coffee early in the morning after I get back, and I had posted something funny from the gym, and had one of my friends hit like button. So I said, "Oh, look, so and so liked my post or whatever." And when I scrolled away from it, Skylar Lewis, the founder of Rise Up Kings, came up and talked about a faith pillar, and I said, and I listened to him. It was a couple seconds, and I said, I just grabbed my phone like this, and I said, "Hey, Lisa, what do you think about that?" And she's like, "You?" And I was like, "Oh, now it's on," because challenge is what Randy really lives for, right? So I said, "All right." So I text right there, and immediately found that my faith pillar was, I believed in God. However, I never lived with God on a daily basis, and I never he wasn't a daily part of my life at all. Right? I just believed, like, one day I'm done and I'm going away to heaven. Right? There was no extra curricular work. No, it was just, that was it. So going to Rise Up Kings changed that for me dramatically. Since then, since December, I've read the Bible every day. I pray every day, and I listen for God every day, which is probably the thing that's most impactful to me. So that was a big self accountability. I have been very personally driven. There's Todd. I've been very personally driven to hold myself to a high standard, just because I feel um, I feel obligated to the people that work for me and their families. Right. Today, I'm guessing that I have somewhere between Texas operations and California operations. I would guess we're probably somewhere in the 250 to 300 range. We've been as high as maybe 500 before. Um, so that's a lot of families that are counting on you to do the right thing. And so I make sure that I held myself accountable to myself. So I knew I was going to do the very best I could do, for the people that were counting on me. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, but the effort surely was there. And so for self accountability for me, I think, people talk about luck and they talk about things. I don't believe that. I believe you make your opportunities, and then God fills those opportunities with what you are able to give. So if you give, I believe that God makes sure you receive to give more. So super blessed in the and been a great opportunity to hang out with you, Andrew, at Rise Up Kings a few times. Talk to you all the time on the phone, and you are a beast for Christ, and I love that. And so I appreciate all the words of wisdom that you give me when I need those too. So
Well, I'm just trying to be like you, man. And honestly, like, one of the things that I'm learning from Rise Up Kings is, the best thing that any Christian business owner can do is pursue Jesus and pursue his wife, or spouse,
yeah,
respective other, right? I know that when I do those two things, the Lord just gives the
yeah,
business. The business just comes, right? I'll have a new lead on the calendar. I'll have a new deal come through. Like, when I make an effort to intentionally pursue Jesus and my wife, and like one of the things that I've really gotten from it is your schedule reflects what you care about. So if I really want my marriage to be at a 10, my calendar better reflect that.
Yeah.
And that's been really challenging for me, right? I think a lot of business owners, we fly by the seat of our pants. But do you remember, Randy, what you told me about running multiple ventures? I asked you, like, how do you do it? And do you remember the advice you gave me?
Mm. What was
You
the
said
setting?
you said it's so simple. There's two things. You said
Oh,
hire, I think it was hire great people.
yeah.
And then the second one was set the like
Yeah, you have to
set the
set that.
bar.
You have to set the expectations, and then you have to
Yeah.
hold them accountable.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, what was very difficult for me to grow, what made my business, what when you work, I was working in the business and not on the business. Number one.
Mm,
Number two, to get myself comfortable letting go of controls of operation, controls of sales, controls of equipment purchases, all those things that I held under my thumb to grow, I had to let go of those. So, letting go of those, I had to set the expectations, and then where I didn't let go of the opportunity to direct my business was because of the fact that I held them accountable, right? So today, Todd and I are not only business partners, friends, first and most, business partners. We're also Todd is the CEO of and I'm the chairman of the board. So when I bring something to Todd and I said, "Hey Todd, I want to really look at this." Todd, I'm the visionary. Todd's the integrator. So Todd takes that back to the team and says, "Hey, Randy brought this widget to us, and this is a new line of business he really wants to do." And so I tear it apart from a very high level to see if the numbers are even where it is. Then I go give it to Todd and his team, and they tear it apart
mm,
even more and see if it really is worth doing. If it comes back to me and it's got a degradation in gross margin, and then I say, "You know what, I don't care, Todd, I really want this," and you're like, "Man, we can't swim uphill, like we're off, the numbers are off," and I said, "I don't care, I really want it." Well, how am I going to hold Todd or the team accountable when it's me that pushed them to do it, right? And so at the end of the day, what I love about what we built with Todd's help is if I give Todd and his team something, Todd runs it through the team, and then by the time I ask Todd, "Hey Todd, how are we doing on what happened here? We lost a little bit of margin." And Todd says, "Yep, we lost margin, and here's what the operation's doing about it." Like the answer's already there because they own that piece of that revenue stream they own. So when Todd has to go and get involved and say, "Hey, the numbers aren't where they're supposed to be. What are we doing?" They already have the fix because they already know, right? And they bring it to Todd, and it just makes our job that much easier because if you can own the lane of business and you can own the problem, you will know the fix.
mm. That's good. Todd, you dipped out there for a sec, but we were talking about the personal accountability. We were talking about the fire that kind of was lit in us through Rise Up Kings. What are some things that maybe we didn't get to talk about that you wanted to kind of touch on?
Yeah, and I apologize for that. My internet's been spotty. We've had storms coming through North Texas
No
and
worries.
a lot of off and on. I think the thing from my standpoint, when I look at, just my career and opportunities, you know, and going through Rise Up Kings and leadership is you really have to believe in yourself. And what I mean by that is that I've had faith a big part of my life from a child growing up, but believing in yourself and putting yourself as a leader. Um, we as leaders, we've had hard times just as much as some of the others, and they ask that, and they look at times of your success and your stories of where it's at. But the way you become a leader is by some of those hard knocks that you go through, and those peaks and those valleys. And the thing that you have to tell yourself from where it's at is that you continue to surround yourself. And when that means is surround yourself within your family, within your personal life, within your church, your community, your business, and all that, with someone that is mentoring and you mentoring back, that's pushing you to other levels, that making sure you're striding. And that's what I think we see with Randy, is our leadership, and what Randy pushes on us and what we push back to Randy and what we execute within our company. And it just continues to spread within the organization. And we see it, from our core values that's pushed down. And when I say push down, I'm not push down, but when our core values are shared within the company and what really those core values mean, and standing behind those core values to the way we hire, to our customers, to everything that operates within our employees, it really means a lot. And it what I would say is develops that culture. And it's a culture that is a lot of fun. And it's a culture that continues to just thrive and continues to grow. And, I heard this through Rise Up Kings, and I think it was last week, Pastor Ed talked about some stuff, which I love the guy. He's amazing. But, the question is why me? And he kind of shared a story with, why me? And at the end of the day, it's not the question of why me, from whether it's, why is this happening to me? And why is this happening to me? Is why not me? And what you have to ask yourself that question is, why not me? Is take the responsibility upon yourself. Okay. And you can either play on the side of the victim or the side of the responsibility, but take that responsibility and that leadership. Okay. And be, why not me, to that next level. And that is what Rise Up Kings really, from a physical, from a mental standpoint, everything, it pushed all limits of why not me, to really see what you can do in your marriage, what you can do to have that 10 on a scale, or 11 or a 12 on a scale of your marriage. Why not me, of what I can do for my family? And I'm from a family of 5 boys, and I have 3 daughters, and God gave me those daughters as, was it teaching me patience, or where it's at? And, it's something that you look at throughout life, of just continuing to grow your faith and be a servant of God. And I say a child of God. There's so many times we get stuck within our personal life, within our organizations of our life. Is just the tangible stuff that we can see, we can control, and really knowing, to the extent that there's so much more that is out of our control, and that's the intangibles. And those intangibles are the things you really have to, keep focused on, and keep driving and keep building within that. The culture. I mean, culture is not something that changes. The company where we're at right now, it's, out of my entire career, I would say that culture, when I first stepped into, was very, very challenging. And I will say it's taken years to change it, but we are extremely proud of where we are today. So, believe in yourself, believe in your people, thank the Lord, and continue to push yourself to those levels.
Amen, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. If people want to learn more about who you guys are and what you do, where do you want to send them? Which of the different enterprises should they go look up?
So for me, the easy thing is you get a hold of Big Hath Podcast, because I'll be back, I'm sure. And one thing I want to leave. So it's RH at rockfordbayconsultant.com. That's my email for my consulting company. And the one thing I want to say real quick is this: no one in my career, this is something my dad told me, which I hold very near and dear to me, but no one ever worked or is working for me. They all work with me. And so I think that's a powerful statement when there's still a pecking order. Don't get me wrong. Someone's still got to be the guy willing to take the chance. And there's sometimes there's more than one, right? But at the end of the day, I think that is a powerful statement when you don't have anybody that works for you, but they work with you. So,
Love that. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Love you, brother.
This was fun. Thanks, Todd. Thanks, Randy.
Andrew, thanks for having us again. Anybody can reach out to yourself or reach out to me through my email, through TTN. That'd be great.
Sweet.